strong by spoiling two of your favorite franchises, starting with Final Fantasy XIII. Unlike most of the things we make fun of in Spoiler the Panel, I actually like Final Fantasy XIII. So in order to make mean jokes about it, I first have to shut off the part of my brain that actually likes good video games. Alright, now I want to play a racing game. No, I'm not dumb enough yet. Hold on. I feel as if Madden is a creative franchise. And it'll keep innovating and... No, I'm not stupid enough. Alright, guys. After the panel... Let's go get some beers and spend the night playing Halo in my frat house, listening to some insane cloud pop. Oh, there we go. I'm bleeding a little. A lot of people have been complaining about how Final Fantasy XIII is more movie than game, but I don't think it's either. Final Fantasy XIII is a hallway simulator. Throughout the game, you walk in one direction down narrow corridors, and if you make it to the end, you are awarded with melodrama. So it's kind of like high school. Still, it's a very pretty hallway simulator that prepares you for hallways filled with robots, zombies, and giant beasts. Yeah! Since American gamers are too stupid to play a game based on anything other than running around grunting like a moron, Square has decided to put the game on stupid mode and play it for us instead. There's an icon on the map that tells you where to go. All items heal the whole party. There's no MP whatsoever, and the battle system, or rather lack of one, forces the AI to control two of your characters while you manually get to tell the AI to control the third. The game even forbids you from leveling up any more than it wants you to. So I have this idea about how Final Fantasy XIII was created. You see, Square really liked what they did with Final Fantasy XII, but as I mentioned before, American gamers are too dumb to handle Final Fantasy XII's complex gambit and licensing system. So Final Fantasy XIII once again features Vaughn, Pinello, Ash, Fran, Balthier with a motorcycle, and that secret character, Chris Rock. But Square simply pre-programmed their gambits this time. Anyway, long story short, the Falsi are bad, the Lusty are good. The Falsi want the Lusty to turn into a fiery, hundred-handed werewolf thing to help them commit suicide. This, in turn, will help them turn off the power in the space city of Cocoon, which will send it crashing down onto the surface of Pulse, killing everyone inside as a gigantic blood sacrifice, which will, in turn, bring back a dying god, a plot that's so convoluted, you think it came straight out of a Detective Conan episode. The Lusties say no, swearing that they will save Cocoon at all costs, but then they get bored and kill Falsi anyway. Pope stabs Snow, but he gets better. Emperor Palpatine is evil. Lightning's real name is Claire. And all the horrible stuff that's happening is the lesbian's fault. Cocoon is now falling because the protagonist did every fucking thing the bad guys told them to. But it's okay because the lesbians atoned for blowing up the world by making a giant crystal naked sex hug pillar. The end. God, I can't wait for Final Fantasy XIV. God, I can't wait for Final Fantasy XV, and if it follows the pattern of melodrama set by Final Fantasy XII and XIII, it will actually just be a DVD filled with Winamp visualizations that you can watch as some emo kid kills your family with a gun blade. At least Final Fantasy Versus 13 will be a powerful story about a sexually ambiguous main character who has a flair for dramatic fights on the sides of buildings. To sum this all up, Final Fantasy XIII is a whole lot like Avatar: The Last Airbender. Because it's a great story with interesting characters, awesome powers, and that wander a world filled with giant turtle elves. And in the end, they still managed to fuck it all up anyway.